I was 17 years old when that car hit a maple tree 1.5 miles from my parents' house at 60 plus miles an hour. I should be dead. For more than 20 years, I've had this photograph right here hanging on the wall in my classroom behind my desk. And it serves a couple purposes. The first one is to remind me that occasionally I'm an idiot, and maybe you are too. So when I was in high school, I was about 17 years old. I'd had my driver's license for a little while, and I was feeling pretty confident with myself. And I was coming home the 8-mile drive from my high school back to my house. Well, I knew those roads, as they say, like the back of my hand. And there was this one spot where there was a dip, a slight curve where it went over a little creek, and it came back up, and then the road straightened out. And it was always really, really fun to sort of accelerate down into that little corner and then pop back out. Well, this day I was going a little bit faster than normal. I've been pushing the envelope just a little bit. And I mean, a 1981 Oldsmobile Omega is not meant for handling, right? So that night I went down, but it had been pretty cold the last couple days. And the pipe that went across for that creek had heaved just a little bit and put a little bump in the road. And so I was going too fast. I hit that bump, maybe some ice, I don't know, and I lost control of the car. I can remember the back end of that car fishtailing out to the right, and I would correct, and it would come back to the left, and I'd correct, and I was weaving my way up the hill. And I drove probably almost 1/4 mile before I slammed into this 100-plus-year-old maple tree on the edge of a field. My face at the steering wheel, the top part of my seatbelt didn't work. The floor crumpled around my shoes. The engine was in the seat with me. I have scars on my knees from the engine. I actually had to climb out through the window. I had a broken collarbone. I had 2 black eyes. And as I crawled out, I cut my wrists all up on glass. You know, you're in shock. You don't feel any of that pain. And then I had to reach back into the car to pull my shoes out from the crumpled floor around them. And I walked across the road to this old farmhouse, and I sat down on the chair that happened to be on the porch and just waited. And people would come up the road, and then the ambulance came. And at this point, I'm only 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles from my house. And so I went in the ambulance, and my parents got me, and you know, I checked out okay, at least from the physical injuries. And in all that time, what I remember is never once taking my foot off the gas. I never once thought to take my foot off the gas. I was so overwhelmed with everything that was going on that I was just reacting to little things, and I didn't have, you know, maybe it was the experience, maybe it's my age, you know, my mind just wasn't there to think, hey, stupid, take your foot off the gas. And I don't know, you know, for you going through life, sometimes we go through these things where there's a bump in the road and it throws us a little bit, and we just end up reacting to all the little things, right, left, but we never slow down. We never take a minute to say, hey, whoa, you know, just take your foot off the gas, coast, hit the brakes, whatever it might be. And, you know, I remember watching my headlights hit that tree and then just bracing with my hands on the steering wheel. You know, I don't know where you are in life, or if something has come across your path where it's just a little bump in the road, something you didn't expect, or maybe it's a big bump, I don't know. But with the pace of life, the speed that you're going, it throws you off, and you end up reacting to the little right, the little left, but you never take time to, whoa, back off, slow down, and to think about the life you're leading, the choices that led up to it, the choices you have now, the people, whatever it might be, your reactions. There's all sorts of things in the moment. And, you know, this can have all sorts of implications for us in the way we argue with our, you know, our significant other, or with our kids, or how we deal with our job. Like, man, right in the midst of that situation, that little bump, we just react. Like, we need to slow down and have time to maybe not say some things that we wish we would never said, or to react a little different way, or to realize that we actually have other options. Like, you've got a brake pedal, stupid. You don't actually have to say that thing that automatically comes out. So I don't know what it is for you, but there's a great lesson in here for me. It isn't the reason why I have it on the wall behind me. That's a much bigger thing. I was 17 years old when that car hit a maple tree 1.5 miles from my parents' house at 60 plus miles an hour. I should be dead. And that lesson for me is one where when a student asks, or when I'm just walking by to grab a drink of water and I see that picture on the wall, what happens inside of me is there's just a real quickening that says, hey, buddy, you shouldn't be here. And so, yeah, it's cliche to say live every day as if it's your last. Nobody's promised tomorrow. We're all living on borrowed time. But, for me, it's pretty real. And even though this is almost 30 years ago for me, it carries with it some pretty powerful weight that when I see it, I need to be reminded that, bumps in the road don't just happen when we're young and stupid. They happen at all phases of life, and whether it's one that literally threatens to take my life or one that just threatens to maybe push me off course, I need to slow down, take a minute and stop and think. So this smashed up 1981 Oldsmobile Omega that my friend nicknamed the Moo Machine is my reminder of stupidity and challenge and growth, and to live every day. I mean, it serves so many reminders for me, and that's why I put it in a prominent place. But what in your life, what stories do you have? What proverbial pictures on the wall, signpost markers do you have in your life that remind you that you're living for a purpose, or that cause you to slow down, to reflect, and to check on whether or not this is the course you want for your life? I'd love to hear those in the comments. And hey, I hope you are encouraged by this. If you know someone that you think would be challenged or encouraged, whatever it would be from these videos, please share it. Hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you next time. Or as they say, check yourself before you... Anyway.